that the little children cry when strangers appear. Western people frighten Eastern children, not by anything they do, because like as not they're handing out candy bars. What, however, is that as the child will say to its parent, why does this person dislike me? Why is this Western person looking at the Eastern child as though the child had done something evil? The Western person doesn't even know it. He isn't mad at the child. Perhaps in some mysterious way he's mad at himself. He doesn't know he's doing it. But the non-Western, seeing this face, sees what appears to be antagonism of some kind. He doesn't know that this is the natural expression of Western man. He does not know that the aquiline features, the deeper set eyes, the strongly modeled face, the pressured jaw, the thin line of the mouth, these are not attitudes put on to discomfort or frighten a small child. They are the face of Western man. A face that is hurt all the time. A face that is fighting for survival against something. And behind this face is impatience, irritability, inability to let down. This face is on a person who fidgets all the time, who cannot sit still, who can scarcely read a book anymore, must turn to something if it's only the bar. This face is a face of criticism that mysteriously is always finding something wrong with other people and other things. The face which condemns by a subtle expression that has now become part of its own nature. The individual who subtly resents the tremendous pressure of other people who are opposed to what he is trying to do. Inside he is defending himself against that man who wants his job, that other person who wants to break his home, the children who want too much for their own good. All the different desires that bleed this person have created their scars upon his character. So these foreign people, particularly the Asiatic, with very smooth, even surfaced face, have very few depths, very few clear-cut lines of features, whose face very often reaches great age without even a wrinkle. A face which is strangely bland. This contrast is extraordinary when you begin to study it. Perhaps it is all racial type, perhaps that is the way the Eastern face is. I wonder, however, if it isn't to a certain degree associated over thousands of years with the Eastern life attitude, the attitude of facing all things with quietude, without these intensities, without these pressures with which we are so commonly familiar. One thing that is obvious from Eastern psychology is that the Eastern person has never reached that attitude that we have of demanding pity. The Easterner does not want other people to know his troubles. He does not want to have people say to him, "Poor old man, you're standing much too much." He doesn't want this. He does not want anyone else to know his sorrows or his pain or his responsibility, for the simple reason that these things are his. If he has joys, he shares them. If he has problems, he keeps them to himself. If people have problems, to advertise them is only to admit weakness. So instead of the person expounding all his grievances, and expecting to be thoroughly sympathized with. The Eastern individual assumes that his grievances result from his own stupidity and they are his own private business, and he hopes that he will not impose them upon other people. This is a strange point that we find in Eastern philosophy, that it is bad enough for each individual to carry his own burdens, but it is entirely too much to burden other people with our burdens. And to do so is to indicate lack of character. There is no applause for weakness. Thus, the expression of the mask, the no mask, is one in which the person keeps his own counsels, keeps his own secrets, solves his own problems within himself the best he can, and never under any conditions feels that it is proper or right for him to demand understanding from other people. His life is not best because he is understood, but because he learns himself to understand. His philosophy has been built upon this. Another interesting phase of this mask is we notice in watching Eastern people that when the face relaxes, as in sleep, or as in conversation, or when the individual forgets himself, the face almost always relaxes into a smile. When the person is not trying to have an attitude, is simply releasing his entire nature from the pressure of controls of all kinds, the Eastern person does not fall into a sourness. He doesn't suddenly have a sad and ancient look about him. Relaxation is not negative. It does not mean that he gradually passes into a kind of stern, sad, silent expression. The natural relaxation seems to be to smile. The smile as an expression is infinitely more used in the East than it is in the West. It overcomes practically all language barriers. When no one knows what to do about anything, a big grin indicates that everyone is doing the best he can and hoping for the best. If he can't find your luggage, he smiles. He is doing his best. I told a man in Tokyo that the Tokyo Travel Bureau put me on the wrong train. He was convulsed.